This is my 3D printed RC Hovercraft, and in this video I will show you how to build it. The first thing to do will be to print all the parts. There is quite a lot of printing to do. If you go to Printable and look under files, you will see that I added a little bit of text under each part, just to make it easier for you to see which parts you need to print. Most parts you only need one. The fan shroud, you'll need two of these or two of these. You don't need to print both. The second one is it's a lot easier to print on an FDM printer. This one I made from the beginning because I thought it looked a bit better. The skirt mounting parts, skirt mounting clamps, you will need quite a lot of those, and it says how many of each part you need. If we take a look at that, I have also added a picture here, so you can see where the different parts will be placed. And the reason they need to be different is because on different parts of the hull, on the outside, it's different radius. All the electronics I've gotten for the Hovercraft is either from MBS RC model or from RC Flight. They have a little bit different assortment of components, but if you take one order from each place, you will have enough to build a Hovercraft. For printing your Hovercraft, I would say PLA is definitely the way to go. I got all the PLA for printing this from Add North. It's a Swedish company. They make great filament, and I would really recommend their material. Let's start the building process. After assembling a few of these Hovercrafts, I know a thing or two about what order to do everything. Before you start, make sure you have everything in place. Gloves, paper towels, tape, a small knife, and some toothpicks. The gluing should be done in 2 sessions. Start off by cutting the carbon fiber rods so you have 2 that are 205 mm long. Make sure they fit properly in all 3 parts. Place them in the rear section, put some glue on the carbon fiber rods, then push them both through the middle section and remove the rear section without pulling them back out. Just the stickiness of the glue was enough for me to make them stay in the middle part. Then put the glue on the surface that interface between the rear section and the middle section. This can be done on any of the 2 parts. Put the 2 parts together and put some tape over the joint to hold everything in place. Take your time. The better job you do now, the better the result will be. Then take some toothpicks and clean out the slot where the skirt clamps will be mounted. If you don't clean this out properly, the skirt clamp won't fit the way it should. And when you're done with that, finish up the taping and leave it so the glue has enough time to cure. The next day, when the glue has had enough time to cure, take a new pair of gloves and do the same to glue the front section to the middle section. But before you glue anything, make sure to do a test fit so the carbon fiber rods are not too long. If they are, cut them and do another test fit. When you're happy with this, just do the same procedure as before. Put the glue on the interfacing surface, push the parts together. And don't forget to clean out the slots for the skirt clamps. While you still have the glue available, be sure to also glue together the roll cage. Don't do it like me, and start with the soldering iron at 300 degrees Celsius. I ended up at around 250 degrees Celsius, but it's better to start around 200 and go up until you find what temperature works good for your soldering iron. If you, just like me, don't have one of those fancy soldering iron kits made especially for threaded inserts, the insert might get stuck on the tip of the soldering iron. What you want to do is you want to give it a little twist counterclockwise just before you pull out the soldering iron. This way the tip won't stick in the threads of the threaded inserts. This is the skirt clamp. If we take a look at it, it consists of two parts. We have the inner rectangle part and the outer part that is like the clamp, the thing that holds everything in against the hull. In between there, you will have the balloon, and the balloon will be threaded around through the inside and out on the outside of this part. And then you will take all of this, thread it through the outer clamp. This way, if we take the cross section, the balloon will fill up this gap, which makes a very tight seal. This part of the balloon will be pressed against the hull of the hovercraft, which makes a very tight seal. So there will be next to no air leaking out through here because it's all like a gasket. The balloon basically is a gasket that presses itself against the hull. It's important to have it in the right direction. So the outside is always flat and the inside has this curve. And that's true for all of the skirt clamps. No matter which radius they all have a flat outside, as you can see here. From all the balloons, you will need to cut away the neck, and you will need to cut away about 55 millimeters.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down, they wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt, they're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be.
For this fan duct, you will need to add your own servo horn inside here. You need to modify it a little bit so it fits with your servo horn. I will show you what I did. I have these 4 servo horns that come with the servo I bought. This one will fit best, but I hope that most servos have something that will fit here. It's quite tight as it is, but what you need to do is first place it in like that, then you need to take a drill, and I have a 1.5 millimeter drill inside, as far in as you can. Just need to try to not have your fingers in the way. Just through the first layer in the print. Then I just need to find that screw. Just borrow this one. Just put the screw into that hole. Take a knife and you just cut all of this. You may need to file that down just a tiny bit. If you can't get the fit inside the ball bearing, you might need to do that, otherwise it should be fine. Yeah, it's just as easy as going over it a few times and that should be good enough. So that's good. And if you already printed the parts, you also need to take a bigger drill bit and drill out this hole, because I made that too small and I didn't think about that. So sorry, but for everyone that downloads the file now, I will have made a change, so you won't need to do anything about that.
If you have a lot of extra screws from the servo or from something else, then you can add an extra screw to each fan duct. Mounting the EDF fan is a bit tricky. There is a hole right behind for the wires, and you need to get one wire through at a time. I did it by bending back 2 of the wires at slightly different lengths, and then with a plier from the other side, you get a hold of the wires and straighten them out.
The first thing when installing the electronics and the fan ducts here at the rear is the servos. The servo should be placed, or the way I have done it is the servo wire coming out at the back, going straight underneath, and then through this channel out to here. There's a few different ways. If you are lucky, you might just be able to push it all the way through. Most likely we will need to use a tweezer. That's one way of doing it. Another way is if you take a string, thread the string through. But how do you thread the string through this narrow channel? Well, take a vacuum cleaner. Then it's through, and you can just tie it on here, and it's super simple. And make sure the cable is straight so it doesn't twist inside here. Now you need to connect it up to your receiver. You need to decide which channel you want this on. For me, I programmed it so it's on 4 and 6. But it all depends on how you want to control the hovercraft and what receiver you have. Power up your radio and then take power, either by just plugging in here or if you have an external battery like this. Because this will make sure the servos are centered. And you take the ball bearings. Push them down. Take the fan ducts. And you might get really lucky and the splines fit perfect, or you will need to take out the screws and turn it 180 degrees. I think most servos has an odd number of teeth on them. So let's say I place it on this way. That's the best I can get. Oh no, yeah, I forgot one thing. You need to push it. Yeah. But if I take it this way, then it's straight. But as you just see, there's one more step that you need to do. Of course, I just forgot that. You need to put the screws into the servo. Otherwise nothing is holding the servo down. Take the screws that came with the servo. Oh, ball bearings, fan ducts. And this is why you need to power on everything, because the servo needs to be centered. And when you turn it on, it's centering. And you take the screws. So now you take the motor. Let's see here. Other one.
Make sure the motors spin in different directions. There are 3 wires from the motor to the speed controller. If you switch 2 of them, the motor will spin the other way.
Now, the next step is to install this one. You need to install one ball bearing on each side. This is a smaller ball bearing. It's the size will be in the description. And it's also on the printables page. And this part also has some holes here for the wires to go down underneath and be hidden in this area. There is space to put zip ties here, hold the speed controllers in place. So there's a bit of preparation that needs to be done with this part.
Cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
The cover, that over, show no wires, stop. I don't have a better place for this speed controller. Just push the wires inside. And you need to connect. Either make or buy some power connector that can split out from one battery to two, and then from one of them to real ones. So for example, something like this. Connect the rear motors. Lift motor, and then connect that to the battery. The battery will be inside here. I also need to have, it's going to go the right connector for the battery. I just had a bunch of these laying around, so I used them. Oh right, yes, magnets. Make sure they're the right polarity. The size will be in the description, and I will update the printables page because I don't think I wrote anything about that. But just press them in.